in association of Reginald's and Reg 31. It's your boy Nando. I'm here with Jermaine, and we have a special guest tonight. Middleweight sensation Chris the Sharpshooter Busi and Femi. How you doing, guys?
I'm good, man.
Good, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So, for the viewers that don't know who you are, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So yeah, my name's Chris Busi. Started boxing when I was 14 years old. Since I was 14. I'm originally from Peckham. Grew up in Peckham. Lived in Peckham all my life. What else can I say? Yeah, that's it really. Yeah, man. I'm just
So you're looking to make your debut on the 20th in Bethnal Green?
Yeah, 20th of July.
Next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Next Saturday.
Yorkpool next Saturday. He's sensational, honestly. I can only say so much. I'm his boy, but he doesn't speak much. But he's a different talent, and a lot of people say, a lot of people come into mind and they speak. This guy's something, you know.
That's good. But who would you compare him to?
For me, I don't know. For me, he's just his own fighter, man.
But yeah, I got my own style. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your opponent. Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I've seen him box. I've seen him box a few times. His name is Victor something. I can't remember saying it, but yeah, I've seen him box a few times. He's been around for a while. He's had a few fights. He's had quite a few fights. He's in the 50s number bracket in terms of fights.
Okay.
So yeah, I've seen him perform a few times.
So what inspired you to get into boxing?
It was actually my older brother that got me into boxing. He was actually, at the time, he was doing community service for a fence that he had done. And I guess someone told him to take up boxing, and he basically just dragged me along. And it's been history from there.
So on Bells and Whistles, we've actually had this discussion before, how grassroots can help people get away from, a life of crime and away from gangs, etc. What do you think the government should do more to get young kids off the street, away from that kind of lifestyle? Do you think that more youth centres, more boxing gyms?
Definitely. I feel like today's youth, they have too much idle time on their hands, and I feel like that's why they're able to get into so much mischief. You know what I mean? And I feel like when we was growing up, I feel they done a lot more for the youth, like in terms of youth clubs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Events. They used to have like community events, parties. They just used to do a lot for the youth. I remember them doing a lot. Like I remember being a youth and always having things to do,
places to go.
Of course. Yeah. Even like half term, I remember going to my school. They used to do like a play centre kind of thing all throughout. They don't do that anymore. So you see kids throughout half term in the street,
in the street. You know what I mean?
And if you don't have a building to go to, then what do you know you're good at?
That's it.
There needs to be a place. When we were growing up, and that's how we started. I remember him. He used to play table tennis even before he boxed.
Yeah. We
used to sit inside a place called Central Adventure Park in Peckham and just play table tennis all day.
But
we had something to do. We had a roof over our heads. Like they invested in these facilities, which enabled people like Chris, the sharpshooter, to be a boxer. But now I don't know the situation, but it doesn't seem like that emphasis is there anymore.
They're not doing nothing. Yeah. They're not doing enough.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame, really, but
So obviously you box now, so it's going to be your professional debut.
Yeah.
What experience you had at amateur level? How many fights you had at amateur level?
I had 40 fights as an amateur. 40. Out of the 40, I won about 28, 29. Yeah. So yeah, I boxed in the elite ABAs twice. I was a gold medalist at the Harringay Box Cup 2015. Done the novices. I won the London novice title. I won that. I was London novice champion a few years ago. So I've had quite a few. I've been in quite a few championships.
You boxed overseas as well?
Yeah, I boxed overseas as well.
Oh, whereabouts?
Places like Denmark.
Oh, nice.
Denmark,
Yeah, so I'm hearing that you sparred with Chris Two-Stick Congo, is that right? Yeah?
Yeah.
How was that experience? much.
Now, Chris is a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter, good boxer, got good boxing skills. Yeah, it's good. It's good experience for me. Definitely a good experience for me, bringing me along. And yeah, I've known him for a while actually, from the amateur days. So yeah.
How has camp been going?
It's been hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's definitely the training, the pro training and amateur training.
Completely different.
Completely different. Completely different.
More disciplined?
More discipline. To be honest with you, with the amateurs, there was a lot of like I can name a number of fights where I wasn't 100% there in terms of like, you know what I mean, in terms of preparation. But because it's over the course of 3 rounds, you can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't really, with the pros, you can't cut corners. You know what I mean? So it's definitely made me get more serious in terms of it. So yeah.
How would you describe your signature style to the public?
So I would say I'm a boxer puncher, a sharp boxer puncher. That's what I would say.
And how have you visualized this fight in your head?
How I visualized it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I was actually having a conversation in the car on the way up here. Do you know what I mean? And what is that? Obviously, the aim would be to get the knockout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get the knockout. It would be a good statement. Do you know what I mean? For my first professional fight, and you know what I mean. It would be a good show to put on for the fans. But I don't want to really put too much pressure on myself. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of fighters do that. They go because they wanna please the crowd. They wanna please their supporters, people that come out, and you know what I mean. That can get you out of your game. So I'm just going in. I'm just gonna go in there and do what I do. And I guess if the knockout comes, it comes. In. If it comes, I'll take it. But yeah,
It'll be an exciting night if you do get that knockout.
yeah, definitely.
Especially on your pro debut, that'll be a big statement.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a question I'd like to ask Chris. Obviously, now you're turned pro, you have to deal with the business side of boxing.
Yeah.
Have you found that obviously trying to sell tickets and stuff like that?
The tickets, it's a pain, man. It's a pain. Yeah, it's definitely a pain. To be honest with you, I do. With the tickets, they've been going like, you know what I mean. I've sold a few, but it's just this last couple of weeks. It's more about, how can I say? But it's hard, man. The tickets, yeah.
So how does he balance being a boxer but at the same time selling tickets? So it's tough.
But for the listeners out there that think, I actually want to go to this fight, how can they get tickets?
Through me, straight through me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what's your Instagram so these people can actually DM you? And
So my Instagram is Chris_Busi. So you can get me on that, or you can DM me on Snapchat. I'm also on Snapchat. That's Chris_Busi.
That's great.
95. Yeah, so
that's cool. And you can also check it out at Bells and Whistle Sport, because we will be advertising this fight for you as well. We have been this week.
Thank you.
So you can also
it.
DM us and we can put you through to Chris as well if you want to attend a great night of boxing as well. But we're going to take a quick break. Now, Chris, I did ask you for a song request, and you said, which song did you give me?
Was it Nipsey Hussle?
Nipsey Hussle. Problem is with the song you gave me, I couldn't get a clean version, but I did get kind of a Nipsey song. It was with DJ Khaled and John Legend.
Yeah.
We'll be back after the break. We've got a special guest tonight, Chris the Sharpshooter Busi. Welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
We discussed about yourself and obviously your profile, but let's talk about current boxing affairs.
Okay.
So
let's go.
I want to start with let's start off with tonight. So we got Amir Khan tonight, fighting in Saudi Arabia.
Is he fighting tonight?
He's fighting tonight. Yeah, for the is it for the WBC Pell title?
Well, they said it was a Pell title.
A Pell title.
What is it, like
an exhibition fight? Kind of
like
copying what Mayweather did,
done, yeah.
but he's getting $7 million for it.
Yeah.
So he was meant to fight. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he was like the best Indian MMA fighter / boxer.
Okay.
The guy unfortunately had a little car crash, so he had to come out of the fight. Now he's fighting a guy called Dip. So yeah, that's tonight. But right now is Samuel Peters. I don't even know he's still fighting.
Oh, is he still fighting?
The Nigerian Nightmare versus.
I know Samuel Peters.
Yeah, so he's fighting right now against Hughie Fury in the undercard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, what do you think of this Amir Khan fight?
Do you know what? To be honest with you, I haven't really been paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Because I've been so focused on training and everything, so I haven't really been on the socials like that. But in terms of, it's I guess it's a good fight financially, you know. So you can't knock him for that. And yeah, I guess you know what I mean. Amir Khan's soon gonna retire. Do you know what I mean? He's on his way out. So
You think so?
Yeah.
One question I would like to ask you. Did you watch the fight against Crawford, and how did you make of his performance against Crawford? Obviously, you think he quit, or?
I think he quit.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he quit. Yeah. He couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with his style. He couldn't deal with it.
What do you think of the potential rumours that he could be fighting Kell Brook next? Crawford, that is.
Do you know Crawford?
Yeah.
I thought it was Amir Khan.
No, I mean Crawford v Brook. I mean,
that would be a good fight.
Yeah.
That would be a good fight. Yeah.
How do you see that going?
I think I see Crawford coming out with a W with that one. Definitely. Yeah.
So obviously there's been a lot of controversy in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
So obviously AJ Ruiz.
Yeah.
How do you see the rematch going for that? Because Ruiz came out today and said, "I'm the champion. I'm not fighting in the UK."
Do you know what? He is the A side right now. Do you know what I mean? He's holding all the belts. He's calling the shots. So you can't really argue with that. Do you know what I mean? When AJ had the belts, you know what I mean? It was the ball was in his court, innit? So.
But how do you see the rematch going?
How do I see the rematch going? Do you know what? It's a difficult one because you got to remember he's fighting a much confident. He's fighting someone that's, because of Ruiz now, his confidence level has gone through the roof. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be a lot more confident. He's going to be a lot more prepared going into the fight. So I think it's going to be a very good test for AJ. Do you know what I mean? To see if he can win.
So obviously tomorrow we got Gorman versus Dubois.
Yeah.
A grudge fight.
Yeah.
Which bells and whistles will be there live. So grab us for an interview outside the O2. Yeah, we're going to be in and out.
That's it.
In and out as well.
That's it.
So if anyone's going to that fight, grab us outside, inside, come get an interview with us. How do you see that fight going?
It's a tough fight, but I see Dubois winning it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I see Dubois winning it.
Both of them have never won by KO. Do you think someone could do that?
It's the heavyweight division we're talking about, you know what I mean? It's the heavyweight, so...
He looks like a big guy, but he looks like he can't hit hard.
Dubois. Nah, he's got... you know what I mean? He's been putting everyone over, so... He is heavy-handed.
And he'll knock him out.
With the heavyweight division, I think it can go both ways. It can go either way, man. It's the heavyweights you're dealing with, you know what I mean? So, with that, I think it's like who lands first. Do you know what I mean?
The winner of that fight, who do you want to see them face next?
Dubois, potentially, you know, I would have...
Maybe Joe Joyce?
That would be a good fight. Joe Joyce. I would like to see Dylan White in the mix, you know what I mean? Because I really feel like Dylan White deserves, you know what I mean?
A title fight.
A title, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. The way he's worked his way up from the Josh loss. You know what I mean? The way he's worked his way up. I like Dylan White, man, yeah. So I definitely think that he deserves a title fight.
This week there's been a lot of smack talk from Tyson Fury to Dylan White.
Yeah.
So obviously Dylan's basically claiming that he, what did he do? He spanked him in sparring.
He was saying he laid him out in sparring, obviously.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe that. But what's your thoughts on that?
What did Tyson Fury say about it?
Apparently Tyson Fury has said he scored him. He slapped him about for most of the rounds in sparring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
which I believe.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I think I'm edging more to Tyson Fury for that.
One thing I want to ask you, obviously, he's come out and said that he laid out in sparring. Do you think what happens in sparring will stay in sparring?
Out of respect.
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I do definitely agree with you, because sparring is sparring. You know what I mean? It's the place you're meant to learn. You know what I mean? It's where you're meant to learn. So I definitely feel like what happens in camp should stay in camp. You know what I mean? Because you can't really judge someone because you get gym fighters that fight in the gym that are very good at sparring, but when it comes to performing, they can't perform under the lights. when the pressure's on. You know what I mean? So it's very different. That's like when people say, oh yeah, he got knocked out in sparring, like whatever happened in sparring. You can't really judge it because it's not a real fight. You know what I mean? It's the closest thing to a real fight, but it's not a real fight. You know what I mean?
So obviously this week there's been talk about Canelo. Now apparently they're saying that he might be stripped of the IBF belt unless he fights Derevyanchenko, which is the guy that Triple G.
Is he the mandatory now?
He's the mandatory. He's been the mandatory for time because that's the one that.
What belt is it? What belt?
What's the IBF? He recently lost to Danny Jacobs on a points decision. Derevyanchenko, he lost to Danny Jacobs recently.
Was that his last fight?
I think that was his last fight, yeah. Danny Jacobs, he lost some points. Danny Jacobs then went on to fight Canelo and relinquished his title, obviously, by getting beat.
Yeah.
That fight, are you looking forward to that fight if it does happen, or you want to see Canelo fight someone else in the middleweight division?
I want to see him fight someone else, man.
Who do you want to see
fight? To be honest, if he's mandatory for the belt, then it is what it is, you know what I mean?
But apparently he's being stripped off because he wants Kovalev.
Canelo,
he's going up to light.
Is he actually making the move?
That's what they're saying. They've offered more money to Kovalev for this fight.
I thought Kovalev was in talks with Yard.
And now they're saying Canelo, which is I don't know what's going on with Anthony Yarde.
I don't know what's going on there.
Because they're saying if he vacates that belt, it's going to be Triple G versus Derevyanchenko for the IBF title.
Okay.
But then Billy Joe Saunders went to Kazakhstan and called out Triple G.
That would be a good fight.
I would love that.
That would be a good fight. I think Billy Joe Saunders is a slick boxer, man.
Oh yeah.
He's got good boxers.
Definitely.
I just don't know. I think boxing in general, I think it's a question for the fans. Like we as the fans, so you guys as the fans, are we getting the fights that we want, you know? Or is it just about matchmaking and prize fighting? And I think that's where boxing is falling for me personally as a fan. So like Amir Khan, I don't want to see Amir Khan fight in Abu Dhabi. I want to see Amir Khan and Kell Brook. That's what I want to see as a fan. So I just don't know all this mismatching in terms of like the different weight classes and different fighters fighting people that they shouldn't be fighting. It's like what do the fans want to see, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
definitely agree with
what
that.
do the fans want to see? What do we want to watch, you know? So.
The only promoter I see getting the fights done is Frank Warren, and I've got a lot of respect for that guy. He doesn't look at money, he just gets it done, and that's it. Whereas, you know, De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, it's a bit of a different story.
You think it's more money?
It's more money, but I think they're more scared. They're kind of like they're scared for their fighters, for example.
Yeah.
I think everyone loves that O. You know,
everyone does. I think
it means a lot.
I definitely agree. Yeah.
But don't you think sometimes a loss can make you a better fighter?
It can, but at the same time, with losses, because with boxing, you can work your way up to a point. You could be working. You could be on the ball, fighting fight after fight, winning, and the moment you take a loss, do you know what I mean? It sets you back 10 steps. You know what I mean? So I definitely see and that's from the boxing world. Do you know what I mean? So
So we heard that Linares versus Burns in Scotland, and the winner will be the mandatory for the WBA belt, which is Loma.
Linares, the welterweight Linares, the one that fought
lightweight,
the one that Lomachenko beat.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he's going to fight Ricky Burns in Glasgow, and the winner's going to fight Loma for the WBA belt.
Okay.
But then we've got Campbell versus
Lomachenko.
How do you think that's going to go? Spank him?
You know what? Yeah, I think people are underestimating Campbell a bit. Do you know what I mean? He's got good angles. Do you know what I mean? He's a good round boxer. I do see the fight going Loma's way. I do see him getting the W. But I think people are underestimating him a bit too much. You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to be more than a fight that people think it will be.
Yeah, Loma's my favourite boxer.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. He's a bad man.
I can never see this fight going the distance. I don't know why. I don't think he will school him like he did to Crowler, but
no. It'll be a much harder fight than the Crowler.
Fingers crossed in the UK we can all go to that fight because I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Fight.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, Lomachenko was a bad boy.
Because he stopped Linares, isn't it? He stopped Linares.
Yeah, he got floored by Linares, got up and then
I remember that.
Knocked him out in the 10th.
With a body shot. I remember that. Yeah, he did.
One thing I would like to ask, obviously, it's come out recently that Chris Busi Jr. might be fighting a Jack Ryder his next fight after beating James DeGale. What do you make of that fight? And who do you want to see him face after this?
Who, Chris Busi?
Chris Busi, yeah.
Who would I like to see? Right. He's a middleweight, right?
Yeah, so he could even fight.
He's still got
fight like the British level. He could fight. He can even fight. It's crazy, but he could fight Kenneth Smith. He could fight Billy Joe Saunders. He could fight Martin Murray.
I would like. Do you know what? I would love to see the rematch with him and Billy Joe, because I feel like he's grown a bit from that fight.
Do you think it'll be a different outcome, or do you think it'll be the same outcome?
I think it'll be the same outcome.
You think Billy Joe?
I think he's too slim.
Punch, yeah?
Yeah. I think he's too slim.
I rate Billy Joe highly.
Yeah.
So before we take a break and we move on to some football talk, do you have any last comments about your opponent and for your future fans and for your fans?
Do I have
any comments? Anything you want to say before your fight?
Get your tickets, man.
Get your tickets.
Yeah.
DM him.
DM me. Get at me on Facebook, Instagram,
Snapchat at Chris_RTM1.
Yeah.
You can Snapchat me at Fem501 tickets next Saturday. Yorkpool. It's fireworks. This guy's talented.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a good night, and plus it's actually the bill for the night is actually a world title fight.
Oh really?
Yeah, females world title fight. I think for WBC Intercontinental, if I'm right.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. There's going to be, apart from me, there's going to be a lot of fights going on. You know, there's going to be a lot of exciting fights. So yeah, you lot should definitely, if you want to come down, get at me for tickets. So yeah.
You heard it here first, guys. Seeing as today's Friday, we're going to take a break, and this next song is Funky Friday. Tyrone, he's been barred since that Kante comment last week. I wish I had the recorder. I would have replayed it for the fans that didn't hear it. Apparently United should go for Kante. Wow, out of the building. So Jermaine, Arsenal fan, how do you feel about Edu coming back home as the new sporting director?
Fantastic news. I'm chuffed in terms of, I know that he's going to bring in players who are going to strengthen us. We lack a bit of flair on the wings. So he knows the club very well. Arsenal through and through. He's been there for the good times, Wenger eras. So yeah, he's a winner. His mentality. I think if you can get people like our winners playing well, best out of Iwobi, maybe out of the new guy Martinelli. If you can bring in a few more attacking players, and just kind of help Emery and Freddie Ljungberg in bringing players through the ranks and players from transfer fees.
How do you feel about the Zaha saga? So they're saying that Arsenal are not going to pay the 80 million, but this week there was a story: Mustafi, Jenkinson, and Elneny and 40 million.
Yeah, that's not going to happen for me. If I'm being honest, I can't see a club like Palace taking players like that. I mean, we're a better club than Palace, but Palace ain't that poor to be taking those sort of players. I wouldn't even have them at my club, so I can't see it happening. I know we're trying to get rid of these players, but we have to be realistic. If we want the best players, we need to spend the money, and that means if it's 70 million, 80 million, then so be it. We have to make it happen. But to be honest, I can't see it happening.
Before we move on, last week me and Tyrone were on the Saturday Sports Show. Obviously, Harry sent for you. He basically said that Everton now are a bigger club than Arsenal and will finish above Arsenal. So, and apparently, Chiz, this is another thing. Apparently, if they went for 50 million Wan-Bissaka, they would have got him instead of United. Jermaine, do you want to say something back to Harry before we move on?
Yeah, Harry, if you're listening, I don't know what you're thinking, mate. Because Everton being a big club and Arsenal is outrageous. Obviously, I know you spent a lot of money. Everton spent a lot of money last season, but they underachieved with the players they brought in. How do I even talk to Everton fans? Is it really been that bad? What did you say to them? Is it been that bad that Arsenal stunk that low that I'm actually trying to talk with an Everton fan? So we'll just move on about that. I think to Chiz about Wan-Bissaka.
So Chiz, I'm getting a little bit bored every day hearing about this Pogba thing. So obviously my club Inter Milan apparently have given up on Lukaku. I read that literally an hour ago. Wow. Apparently United are probably not going to sell him. He's probably going to stay at Old Trafford now. We're going to go for Rebic, Croatian striker.
Good player.
I would have rather had Jovic, if I'm honest, but he's gone to Real Madrid. But how do you feel about Lukaku staying?
To be honest, I was watching Sky Sports News today and they said, remember when Perisic and you were hanging over 5 million?
Yeah.
This is the revenge. We're hanging over 10 million. So I think it's a bit of bad blood between the clubs. Obviously Lukaku wants to go, and to credit him and Pogba, both come to the pre-season tour. They could have said refuse like other players have done this week, like Neymar, Koscielny. But listen, I think if he wants to go that badly, then I think the club should let him go, because there's no point having an unhappy player at the club.
Okay.
That club in that first touch, that's not.
But there was some news that I read on Sky Sports Italia. Apparently, there's rumours that Juventus are actually giving up their pursuit for Pogba. So that only leaves Real Madrid. Do you think Real Madrid will go for him now or no?
Yeah, I think he will end up there. I think the clubs are going to start talking in a couple of weeks. I just hope Man United get the deal done early before our transfer window closes, and then we're stuck with whatever we got and nothing to spend on because the transfer window is closed.
But how do you feel, obviously United in the past, being a big club and being linked with big players, how do you feel this week being linked with the likes of Lemina and Longstaff?
I think you look at the way Solskjaer's going, trying to get young British-based players and experience, because Man United over the years has got the Di Marias, the Falcaos, and it hasn't worked. So spending big wages on them, and then after 1 or 2 years they want to leave. So getting these young players in who want to, no disrespect to teams like Newcastle, are going for a bad time. That's probably a good time for Man United to pounce, but offering, say they want 50 million for it, come on, that market's just crazy.
It is exaggerated. Obviously, breaking news a few hours back, Barcelona have completed the signing of Antoine Griezmann, 120 million euros. Atletico have actually come out, I think they're a bit bitter about this. They're saying it should have been 180. I don't see where they got this.
I think it's something to do with his contract. They're saying Barcelona made the contract offer last year, and they should have done that. Obviously, footballers and agents always go by the clubs back and make deals. So I think Atletico just take the money. But then if they do win their court case, where they go, what happens? Well, does Griezmann go back to Atletico?
I very much doubt that.
So basically, he's going to be a Barcelona player anyway.
To be honest, I think both parties have been very disrespectful. I think the way Griezmann and Barcelona, the way they approached this transfer was a bit disrespectful. But we've got to remember that, Atletico Madrid completed the signing of João Felix before even selling Griezmann and just gave number 7.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? How disrespectful is that? What do you think, Jermaine?
Well, obviously they knew he was leaving. Maybe they tried to get him to stay and he refused. So maybe they thought, okay, well, we're losing this player, so we may as well just push him out the door and just give our new young prospect this number shirt. So in a way, you can't really blame them for doing that. But he stated last season that he wanted to leave. The deal didn't materialise. This year's come back around and he's made the move. So the club's got to do what they have to do really and move on.
But did he refuse to go to training as well?
Nah, I don't know.
Apparently he's one of them players, Koscielny, Neymar and Griezmann, but they apparently turned up and said, I ain't going to training.
Mad. Do you guys think Barcelona are actually going to sign Neymar?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so as well, because the fact that they gave Griezmann Coutinho's number 7, I think he's on his way to PSG.
I think either one or two things like that. Either they'll do like 3 players for Neymar, so PSG can get their 3 players, Coutinho, Rakitic and
Umtiti or something like that.
Or they said they might do what PSG did last year with Mbappe, got him on a 1-year loan, paid his wages, and then the following year they'll pay the 160 million they paid for him. Okay. I think that could happen as well.
Do you think United maybe could go for Coutinho? I know you said, I wouldn't do it, like my loyalties to Liverpool, but
loyalties, alright.
Yeah, let's be honest.
I think if he's got no choice, then why not? Or Man United.
So guys, there's been a new law for next season's Premier League. Obviously, substituted players must leave the pitch by the nearest point on the touchline and try and crack down time wasting. I actually love this new rule.
Yeah, I do.
I really do. The fact that, as well, the players that actually deserve it will get stick from the home crowd, so it'll be great to see that. But what do you guys think about this new rule?
I think it's it's good because you know the amount of times the teams try to time waste and then they get punished by conceding a late goal. So, to be fair, it used to be a rule like 10 years ago or something like that. So it's not. It's just something they brought back to stop time wasting. Obviously, with VAR going to be in the Premier League next year, that's going to be more time. You could be playing another 20 minutes at this rate.
Yeah. So Jermaine, another new rule is if the ball strikes the referee and it leads to a chance of possession or a goal, it will be a drop ball will be given. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we've had that a few times. I don't know in the lower leagues. There's been some games, I can't remember what games, but where sometimes the ball's come off a ref and it's actually led to a goal, and it's actually you see a lot of the players from the team complaining to the referee about it. The ball actually hit him before it went to the opponent. So yeah, I think that rule is a good rule, and I think it's fair rule.
It's a shame that this rule came in. It didn't come in while Fergie was there because some titles would have not went to United.
Well, sorry, Chelsea fans, jeez. But that's an actual rule. If the ball hits the referee, it's referee's considered part of the game.
Yeah.
So I don't see why the ball hitting the rest going to affect anything. It's shortly passing now.
So another new rule is attacking players must stay at least 1 yard away from a defensive wall containing 3 or more players during a free kick.
That's just to stop all that argy-bargy in the wall. But if you watch, I think it was the Women's World Cup, they had defenders had a wall and then the players from the attacking side had 2 players in front of it to block the side of the goalie. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a good idea.
Defenders will now be allowed to enter the 18-yard box and take possession of the ball as soon as a goal kick has been taken.
For me, that's I quite like that rule. Because it's a shame Arsenal don't really have a player who can get the ball from deep and make things happen. Sometimes, like for instance, there's games when the clock's ticking down and we need a late equaliser or a late winner. Time's running out. You don't want to just wait for the goalkeeper to either go long or sometimes you just need to get the ball straight away, get it from deep and try and mount an attack straight away. So I think that's actually a decent rule. I think it speeds the game a bit as well.
Go that Stoke, go long.
Yeah, you could do that. But yeah.
So guys, before we take a break, let's kind of talk about quick transfer rumours. So Bournemouth and Aston Villa are interested in Liverpool's Harry Wilson. I'm very shocked that Klopp ain't given this kid a chance. He actually played amazing for Derby last season. What do you think about that, Chiz?
I actually thought he was going to get a chance, but then Lallana's still there, ain't he?
Yeah.
So I would have thought.
Yeah, but is he fit? Is he always fit? Ox, is he always fit?
Is fit because he said the other day they
would he last the whole season though? Come on.
Don't know, do you?
Maybe he's letting continue up. Maybe that's the reason why he's not giving him a chance next season. Maybe he's going to line up Coutinho and bring him back to Anfield.
I don't think it's
going to be 100 million. I think okay, now Barcelona have signed a lot of players. They're going to have to get rid of a few players to balance the books. Why not Coutinho go back to Anfield? I think it could happen. Watch this space. Don't be surprised if it does happen. I think it could happen.
What about Chelsea? I know Nando said it's a lot like Chelsea with the ban, Coutinho back.
I truly believe I don't think Coutinho is going to stay at Barcelona. If he does and he rots in the reserves or something and Chelsea's ban gets lifted in January, he's linked too strong with Chelsea. I think we will get him. I'm very confident that. But even West Ham are saying that they are linked with Gonzalo Higuain. And
a bit desperate for a striker, aren't they?
Yeah, but did they not see him for Chelsea?
But did you see the stat the other day? Something about the strikers they've had. They've only scored like 100 goals since the Sullivan take over.
Yeah.
Something stupid. I was thinking, have all them strikers? And
they haven't had a striker that has scored over 20 goals since 1983.
Wow, that's a crazy stat.
Since 1983. Which makes me think the Canio never scored over 20 goals. That's mad. No. Mad. Even Defoe, a young Defoe in the. He wasn't there in the Championship. He wasn't there in the Championship.
Maybe Dinashin would have got there if he didn't get injuries. Yeah. Who knows? Dinashin might have got there.
I reckon Carroll would have if he didn't get injured.
Donkey.
Yeah. But we'll take a break, guys. We'll be back after this next song, which is Chris Brown Drake, No Guidance. Welcome back, guys, for the last 10 minutes of the Bells and Whistles show. So, guys, obviously this year there's been a few issues with kind of like European finals. Obviously, Baku. What was the attendance?
40,000 was that? 45,
something like that.
Yeah.
And now the Super Cup between Chelsea and Liverpool, they're getting 7,000 each. So now Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham and Chelsea are back in the UEFA final changes. 80% of the total number of tickets for the final should be made available for the supporters. And also affordability. So general admission tickets priced at the lowest category of €70. What do you guys think of that? Fair, right?
Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I would like to go to the final. Obviously, we don't get to many European Cup finals, and obviously, in terms of getting flights, was ridiculous. Accommodations, tickets, it's just ridiculous. The fact that you're only allowing a small allocation of fans to go to a final and giving it to people who are corporate members is really bad, and I think it ruined the spectacle of the final. You could see in the final of Baku that the fans were very far away from the pitch. It's just not a footballing stadium. It's not a footballing stadium, and this wasn't a footballing city, and you can see that by the return of fans you got at the final. Yeah.
No disrespect, but why was it played in Baku? Like, what's so special about that place?
I think it's because they're trying to give every country a chance, and plus one of the Euro games is in Baku next year.
Well, that's a bit of a mistake straight away.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, I think European finals they should delay announcing where it is until both teams are in the final. Something funny, you've got two teams from London travelling all that way there. Apparently it costs them more than £1,000. So we may feel, you know what, it's two teams from the same country, let's hold it in their country. No, where Baku's paid, whatever, give it to Wembley. Even if you've been having it at Old Trafford, if you don't want to have Wembley, have Old Trafford.
You would say that, wouldn't you?
Oh, well, I'm not saying myself, you might say I was home advantage. Well, definitely going to Stamford Bridge, is it, with your attendance?
Another thing I'd like to say is obviously they're going to be looking into infrastructure. So this for me is important because I recently made a trip into Qatar, and there wasn't really much transport in terms of buses, trains. And I'm a bit worried for, obviously we're hosting the World Cup in 3 years now, and I'm a bit worried that they're not going to have the infrastructure to hold that many fans coming from different countries all over the world. So that's another thing that's important in terms of finals. They got to think of infrastructure when they actually make these finals happen.
Well, the World Cup should have been in the first place, is it? The corruption that went into it, they should never have had it.
Yeah, of course. So breaking news that just came in an hour ago. Juventus and Ajax have agreed a fee of €75 million for, in my eyes, maybe many more people, the second best defender right now, Delay. What do you think?
After Phil Jones, yeah? No, you get what you're paying for.
Yeah.
You're not funny.
That's it. Him and Chiellini, great.
Only Van Dijk, in my eyes, is better than him. So.
You think so?
Van Dijk.
Wait, what?
Then Delay.
Oh yeah, of course.
What do you think I said?
Delay better than Van Dijk?
Oh, come on now. No, I think it's a great move for him. Obviously, was Adrian Ronaldo had a little word with him after the Nations League final. But I think he'll do well there. It's not the best league, is it? So maybe he's using it as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. Maybe Man United.
That's another Tyrone comment there. Yeah, we should ban you for next week for that. Another thing I'd like to talk about, obviously, Derek Origi's been given a new contract by Liverpool. Do you think that's more deserved? Obviously, he scored some important goals on their way to winning the European Cup. So, do you guys think that's deserved, that contract?
No.
Why not?
Just because he scored, well, first of all, one of his important goals against Everton was Pickford's goal anyway. But he did well in the semi-final, all right, and he scored in the final. That's great. But he's never been that great of a player. You look at him and you think if Liverpool need to go up another level,
he's not the man.
He's not the man. And I find it crazy they're not looking to sign anyone. Sturridge just left. Shaqiri just got injured, and they got that amazing front six, Man City, and you're not looking to buy like another striker. So I don't know what Klopp is playing at.
I think with their front three of Firmino, Mane and Salah.
And if one gets injured?
That's the thing, one gets injured, what happens?
That's it, because you ain't got Sturridge there anymore, so you've got to sign someone.
But I feel they need to give that Brewster a chance.
Come on, man. You're not going to win the title with Brewster.
No, but if
he's got to win the title with kids, didn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, so who knows? I mean, they lost the title by 1 point. Come on, that's not like a big margin.
He might play one game and score the important goals in the league. Hopefully not, but you just never know football, do you? Football's a funny game.
Well, we'll see anyway. What do you guys think of this rumour of Diego Costa to Everton or Wolves? Even though I would hate him to go there, I don't understand how a team like Tottenham or West Ham are not going for him. Especially Tottenham.
Yeah, I think the same with Liverpool. They've got Harry Kane. No one's going to get in front of Harry Kane, are they? So
yeah, but you need to rotate.
But then they play Son up front, don't they? Or they play.
Yeah, but Llorente's going to go.
You also got to think about his disciplinary record. He gets sent off quite a lot. It's a bit of a risk to sign a player who gets sent off. He could cost you in a big game. Yeah, I mean, I just can't see it happening. Obviously, he links with Chelsea as well. Obviously, a former Chelsea player. I just can't see it happening if you go to Tottenham.
Speaking of Tottenham and Arsenal, you're both fighting for Caballos from Real Madrid. Decent young player. What do you think of that? Do you think you'll get him?
No, because we don't have the funds. More likely, if any player does come to Arsenal, it'll be for a cheaper fee or loan deal.
I think he is a loan.
He's available for loan. Yeah,
it's a loan.
Well, if it is a possible loan deal, then I think it could happen. But anything else, anything regards a fee, I can't see Arsenal paying the money.
Fair enough. Before we go, what do you think of where do you think Pogba's going to go, mate?
Real Madrid. I think that's the only place he can go now. Unless he comes out and says, I want to stay at Man United.
It's not going to happen.
So it has to go Real Madrid.
One thing we didn't touch on, congratulations to the USA women's team, obviously winning the Women's World Cup. It was kind of obvious. I kind of thought France were going to win it, but it didn't. But here's a debate that people have been talking about this week. So obviously Van Dijk won the Champions League, got to the UEFA Nations final. Potentially he's going to win another cup, whether it's the Charity Shield or at least the Super Cup. I'm sure he'll win one of those. Let's say Liverpool will probably win the World Club Championship, and they're saying he's favourite for the Ballon d'Or. Do you not think Alisson deserves it more for what he's achieved this season, and especially the Copa America as well?
So it's the Golden Glove for Premier League, Champions League, Copa America.
And he won the Copa America and won the Champions League.
Did win the Premier League, so it's a bit of a... But goalies are never going to get them sort of accolades.
Yeah, but neither did centre-backs before Cannavaro, and then it's been, 13 years since...
And he's won it since then. Messi and Ronaldo have been sharing it.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't it time we finally got a goalkeeper to do it?
Maybe, but it all depends on what the...
Because think about this, Buffon was considered it in 2012, if he won Euro 2012 at that time.
Yeah.
He didn't win the Champions League. So why shouldn't Alisson be considered? He won the Champions League and won the Copa America, which is equivalent to the Euros.
He should be considered, but we all know that it's an attacking player's award. Unless a defender or a guy has an outstanding season where they concede no goals, they score 20 goals, they win the lot. Attacking players are always going to win it.
I disagree with that. I think Van Dijk should win it. I haven't seen a centre back win it since Cannavaro. So I think the way he's transformed Liverpool to title contenders and turned them into European champions, I think he's had a fantastic season. He's made poor players play better. So I think he should win it.
I'm saying we all know that attacking players win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, that's correct.
So,
I think this season they should make an exception. I think Van Dijk should win this prestigious award.
So guys, before we go, let's move to tennis real quick. Obviously today, great match. Federer and Nadal now in the final against Djokovic. What's your prediction?
Federer.
I'm going to go for Federer to win that.
Yeah, same. And the women's?
I'm a Serena fan, so I'm going to. I think
I should blow away. Yeah.
Obviously, this will be. I think this will be his 13th Grand Slam, isn't it?
Who's that?
It'd be his 9th. Sorry, it would be actually Federer's 9th winning the title if he wins this, and it'll be Serena's 8th. So I can see them both winning a Grand Slam this year at the age of 37 each. So it shows that at 37 you can still win major Grand Slams.
They can play what I did.
So guys, that's all for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Bells and Whistles show live every Friday at Riverside Radio at 9 PM in association of Reginald's Reg 31 and Safer Solution Training. Tune in next week. Hopefully we'll know where Pogba's going next week. Hopefully, and hopefully we get Tyrone in. We need to. God knows what he will say. Maybe Pogba to Newcastle. But before I go, I'm going to put a song from a genius. I say a genius because his album came out today. His album 6. This is Blow by Ed Sheeran with Chris Stapleton and Bruno Mars. Thank you guys.